The Maze in 3D, a 1953 release, an 80-minute film, 1.37 to 1 aspect ratio, nice big screen, black and white dual strip, 3D filmed in 3D cameras, 3-channel stereo, 5.9 on International Movie Database, 26% audience approval score on Rotten Tomatoes. No critics reviewed this. This is directed by William Cameron Menzies. This is his second 3D film. I think it was Invaders from Mars was his first one. I haven't researched that one yet, but I will. This is starring Richard Carlson as Gerald, Veronica Hurst as Kitty, Catherine Emery as Edith. This is based on a 1945 novel of the same name by Maurice Sandoz. Now, let's talk a little bit about the cast. You know, Richard Carlson, he just came off filming It Came from Outer Space. He worked on this film here, and then I think he went on to film Creature from the Black Lagoon. Excellent part here. You know, Richard Carlson, this is the perfect role for him. Absolutely perfect role. You know, he's engaged to this young lady, this Veronica Hurst, Kitty. Veronica was a UK actress brought over for this film. She had signed an 18 film contract with a film company in the UK, and she was brought over for this film. 22 years old. She called herself a child. They treated her very well, very respectful, took her out to dinner and everything. Not much money. I don't think she made any more money on this. It was just part of her contract. I'm pretty sure she was lent out. And then you've got Catherine Emery, who plays Edith. This was her last film. Catherine does a wonderful job in here. I really like her. To me, she's one of the best best characters in the film. Let's talk a little bit about the effort that went into the restoration of this film. You know, this Kino Lorber, the Film Foundation, 3D Film Archives, man, they jumped through hoops to get this reconstructed in such a beautiful showing here, folks. Let me tell you something. They would not let them restore this unless they scanned it in 4K, so they had to go and scan all the originals, prints or negatives, whatever, the dual strips in 4K. Had to get permission to get that done. After that, they sent it to somebody that cleans up films, so they take all the dusts and specks and everything off completely. It took 3 weeks to do that. The sound score, the soundtrack was gone, so they had to reconstruct it. So they sent it to a sound engineer in Germany. He reconstructed it and brought it back into a 3-channel stereo, you know, where something's on the left, it's on the right, you know. It's just, he did such a marvelous job. So the restoration effort that went into this is absolutely phenomenal. Let's talk a little bit about the movie now. The Maze. It's a science fiction horror drama. Gerald, who's played by Richard Carlson, he's about to get engaged. He's engaged to Kitty, and they're going to get married, and he has an uncle that lives in a castle in the Highlands in Scotland. And he talks a little bit about his uncle and how he lives in this castle where they never remodeled it. It's no electricity, no phone, no nothing. Nobody knows why. He went there as a child, and all he remembered is they locked him in his bedroom at night. There's going to be some spoilers here, folks, but believe me, I am not going to spoil this movie for you, okay? And that seems to be a pretty solid line about anybody that's seen this movie. Nobody spoils it. Nobody's going to spoil it, okay? So anyway, so he's engaged and everything, and all of a sudden he hears that his uncle has passed away, and now he's got to go to the castle for the funeral arrangements, and he tells Kitty, I'll be back in a little bit. Never comes back. Doesn't write. Of course, Kitty gets all upset. You know, they didn't have text back then, but she's going to send a telly, so she sends a telegram. But she ends up going over there to see what's going on, and he's a changed man. Absolutely changed. Wants nothing to do with her, wants her to leave immediately. And the amount of intrigue starts to build up. And it really does. The atmosphere, the intrigue. You know, a lot of this reminded me of Young Frankenstein in the castle and everything like that. The atmosphere is incredible. It starts to play up to this this feeling of anticipation of what's going to happen. I will say this, though. This really should be titled The Castle and Its Secrets more than The Maze. Now, there is a maze in here, okay? But most of this takes place in the castle. And so she's got to figure out what's the matter with him. She calls some friends over. He's really acted strange. They think it's a mental illness. They don't know what it is. Of course, you know, come near the end of the movie, you find out what it is. And there's this intrigue, this build-up. It starts to get, it's kind of, I don't want to say scary, but it's like an Alfred Hitchcock type feeling. And it's like, what's going on? What's going on? And you see these shadows under the door. And it's like, oh man, this is going to be, I don't know what the heck this is. Something's going on here. And when it gets to the end, and I'm not going to ruin it for you, but there's different reactions at the end. In fact, somebody that was there when they were filming said that even the cast at the end, and we're going to talk about 3D here in a second, cracked up, couldn't stop from laughing at the end. And you're going to probably laugh too, but I'll tell you what, the end to me was a WTF moment. It's like, what the, you know, and then it gets to the end, and here's the thing about that. You're going to laugh about it, and then you're going to go back and you're going to watch it again, and you're going to see how sad it was, and you're going to see things you missed before. The steps, why the steps are so big, why they're like a platform. You're going to go back and see that, and then you're going to, yes, it's absurd, but there's a certain sadness to it that rings home. You know, once you get past the absurdity of the ending, you get to see the sadness to this movie. Let's talk about the 3D now. The 3D is absolutely, it's exquisite, man. This is stereoscopic 3D. It's black and white. The aspect ratio is large. Nice, pleasant on the eyes. This is not hard on the eyes at all. This director filmed this with 3D in mind. Every shot is framed for 3D. You've got foreground branches sticking out. You've got, everything is filmed for every shot, a car pulling up, the fog, a beach baller sitting by the pool. Everything was done with 3D in mind. This was not an afterthought. So if you're a serious 3D collector, you're going to want to pick this up. I'm going to grade this all in a minute, but you're going to want to pick this up. Will you get stickouts? Yes, you're going to have stuff sticking out of the screen. You're going to get some, I'm not going to say flyouts, but you're going to get things sticking out of the screen. You're going to get hands sticking out, you know, telegram, you know, and then you're going to get a hand all the way out in your face. You know, it's stereoscopic 3D. You got your good depths. When you're looking through that maze and you're looking down that maze and that door's open, it seems like you can see forever. The 3D is very, very good. The atmosphere is very good. The drama is very good. The story builds and builds. And then you get that absurd ending. But to me, you know, I was intrigued by it. Had to get it. Glad I did. And I think you should get it too if you're serious about collecting 3D movies. So how am I gonna grade this? Well, you know, for the movie itself. Before I do that, let me just say this. This Kitty, of course, Richard Carlson plays a great part. You know, this Kitty, this young British actress, you know, she's like just wanting to get hurt. She's constantly like, well, I got to go. No, I love him. I got to go to the castle. I got to do this. Oh, that doesn't matter. We can stay another night. Oh, let's stay another night. You know, and it's like, what are you thinking? And this lady, Catherine Emery, who plays Edith, she's the only one with some common sense. Okay? She's the one with some common sense here. And that's helping me in grading this film. Okay? So I'm going to give the movie itself, for a sci-fi drama, popcorn type, I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 stars. 3 out of 5 stars for the movie. Purely rating on the 3D. For a black and white 1950s stereoscopic 3D, I'm giving it a 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5. It's gorgeous. It really is. It really is. So that's my take on it. So what did you think? Did you see it? Did you see it 3D? There's also a 2D copy on here. Did you see it in 2D? Maybe you bought the 2D copy. I don't know. This was re-released in 3D, I think, in 2018. I don't think you saw this in the movies at 3D, but if you're around and you did, go ahead and tell me about that. Also, there's some extras on here. There's an actual interview with Veronica Hurst, Kitty, at 91 years old. She's 22 years old in this movie. Gorgeous young lady, and pop, there she is at 91. Still a beautiful lady at 91. All right, what a heart, what a heart. All right, so that's my take on this. I want you to hit that like and subscribe button. I got a lot more reviews coming up. By the way, Mad Max, get a hold of me. I never heard from you. I want to ship that winner's Blu-ray out to you, that 3D Blu-ray that you won. I want you to stay safe. I want you to have a good night. And as always, God bless.